I'm Jay Taylor. I'm the editor of Jay Taylor's Gold Energy and Tech Stocks. I'm here at the Metals Investor Forum in downtown Vancouver. It's January 19, 2018. And I'm here with Chris Taylor. He's the president, CEO, and a director of Great Bear Resources. It's a company that trades in Canada under the symbol GBR. It's trading recently around 44 cents, giving it a market cap of a mere $8 million. And this is a story that I wasn't familiar with until I came to the conference. I just heard Chris's presentation. It's really an exciting story. So I'm really pleased that I have a chance to sit down with you, Chris. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks very much, Jay.
So Dixie Lake property is the one you're looking at. It's in the famous Red Lake district of Ontario.
Yep.
And it's near Pure Gold's Madsen project, which I'm familiar with. It's some
Correct.
2 million
Yep.
ounces there.
Yep.
Talk to us a little bit about there's some historical drilling that was done there.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Just tell us what you know at this point in time about your project.
Okay, well, we do most of our work at Dixie Lake, which is located just to the south of Red Lake. It's a continuation off the Red Lake Gold Belt, right? We have other projects, like you alluded to, the West Madsen blocks, which tie directly onto Pure Gold. Pure Gold for us, it's a bit of a direction that we feel the company is going to go in, because we have similarities in geology and the gold controls, and even the grade with the intercepts. They come out with similar grades is what you see there. But as you mentioned, this is a new company, and we're sitting with only about an $8 million market cap, and they're obviously up over $100 million at this point. So the history of discovery on our Dixie Lake project was really back in the late 1980s. It was Teck that did the work there, right? So Teck did the discovery. Quite an interesting property. My background is as a structural geologist, so I did many years figuring out ore zone controls at different deposits. My partner, Bob Singh, Bob is very well known in the Red Lake district, and he's worked there for nearly 20 years. So he's drilled a number of different projects. When we took on Great Bear, it was effectively a shell a few years ago, and we were looking for a very good project. We wanted something that was on the road in the Red Lake district with good historical gold results, and obviously a clear path to getting value in for our shareholders, of which we are also shareholders along with everybody else. The project has seen about 160 drill holes over the years, and the majority of those were by Teck and another junior which was working on the project. And what people sometimes don't know is that Mark O'Day, who's well known in the Red Lake district and for other things, Frontier, this was Frontier's founding project in Red Lake, right? So what goes around comes around, right? And they ended up getting bought out by Newmont with the Long Canyon discovery. So when we took on this project, Newmont was a minority shareholder, a minority owner of the project. They had a 33% interest. So we had 160 drill holes. We had high-grade gold results that go right near surface, and we had a geological riddle to unravel, which I believe we've done now. So the proof in that is really in the pudding. Like we did a drill program earlier this year, and highlight numbers from that would be say 10 meters of 16 grams gold, like right near surface, right? So that's figuring out how these gold controls act on the property.
But we're looking at, I think, a steeply dipping structure.
That's right.
Very much like Pure Gold's. And so you might have potentially some surface mining to start with. It remains to be seen. But at least you don't have to go deep under the earth to start mining the stuff. It's very near the surface.
Well, the gold goes right up, and the high grade, once you're in one of these high grade zones, they'll go from surface down, and if Red Lake is any guide, obviously we haven't done all the work yet, but we have drilling from surface to about 500 meters down, and we actually see an increase in grade and width as you go down. And the main mine in Red Lake, the Gold Corp's mine, they had that high grade zone down below about 2.5 kilometers. So once you're in these systems in that area, the depth extent can be really significant.
So you picked up some more land as well. What prompted you to do that? You see the structure moving on further, and so you picked up more land.
I mean, when you mentioned structure to the structural geologist, it was one of the main reasons. One of the factors that controls gold in Red Lake, and it would be well known for you at the Madsen example, is the structure. You want to see a deep-seated structure that brings up the gold mineralization from depth. On our project, we did a high-resolution geophysical survey late last year. That showed us that the gold zone we were drilling, about 500 meters strike length of it, was part of of over a 20-kilometer structure that goes across our project. And we ended up staking the whole thing. Because what we saw in the mag was that where you have gold, you have this magnetite destructive sort of alteration, and we could see these pockets of that sort of pattern that go all the way along our project.
So those would be drill targets?
They are future drill targets, yeah.
What about 2018? What are your plans?
Well, we'll be drilling.
Objectives for 2018?
We'll be drilling again in about 2 or 3 weeks. So I guess that gives our investors something very interesting to pay attention to. We didn't, when we did the first drill program last summer on the project, we actually avoided the highest grade historic intercepts. It's very unusual for a little exploration company to do that, but there's part of the zone that looks like it folds over, and they had very high grade mineralization there. I've seen up to 160 grams in drill core. That's an area that we're going to go back in and drill. We haven't tested it yet. Then we'll test about 2 kilometers away from where we drilled last time. There's more of the same type of mineralization along that big 20-kilometer long structure that I mentioned. We really want to hit that because there was a company that put a good hole in there, same looking material and same kind of grade. So we want to show that, and then it also looks like the zone folds back over on itself, and that's really interesting because if that's the case, you start being able to potentially double the amount of mineralization that you're looking at, right? So I mean, very interesting and coming up very quickly.
So total strike, you're looking at something that's fairly significant in size, I guess.
Well, the structure is very big.
Yeah.
The area that's drilled now is about 2 kilometers.
2 kilometers.
Right? So that's big.
Yeah, that's big.
You'd be able to put a couple of typical Red Lake mines beside each other within that strike length, right?
It is really exciting. 18 million shares only outstanding, and I understand management and insiders own a good number of those, perhaps.
We do, and we've made very much certain within Great Bear that when we brought the company over to its current housing, which is part of the Discovery Group, I don't know if you know John Robbins of Kaminak fame.
Yes.
So there's a number of companies that work with him as an advisor or a board member. He's an advisor with us. We rolled back the company so we'd have a tight structure to get busy with this project. And when we did that, we invested all of our money in along with all the other investors. So there aren't any cheap shares in Great Bear. It's the management has come in at 15 cents, 20 cents, 25 cents, 30 cents. And as it goes forward, that'll be the same pattern. So we have the same incentives as all the other shareholders.
That's
in the
wonderful.
deal.
That's important. Well, it is really an exciting story. I didn't know about it before I came to the conference.
Oh, no
really
problem.
glad to meet you, Chris, and I look forward to picking up a few shares myself, perhaps, and maybe most likely, if I do that, it'll go on my newsletter.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time, and all the best to you. I guess people should just watch for drill results coming forward.
They should. They'll be coming up quickly. Yeah.
Drive the stock, and it shouldn't take too much buying with 18 million shares to see some happiness in the share price. So.
It's been doing well so far. I anticipate good things in the future. Thank you.
Very good. Well, thank you, Chris. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks very much.